After doing wild camping next to the road, I was cycling to the national park camping site. This whole area was a national park, so there was no fence. One of the biggest joys of cycling was to eat. I just like to save whatever was on the road, like birds, bees, turtles, and so on. National parks never disappoint in Australia. And this beef jerky from Aldi never disappointed as well. I had to cross the river and it looked like there was a big caravan park. And there was a cafe. I hope I can get water and charge my electric stuff. I got so scared of a pond due to crazy mosquitoes after so much rain recently. It was like watching a horror movie. And here I arrived at Wharf. I also checked the cafe first before taking the ferry. At the entrance of the cafe, just another Australian humor. This cafe just saved my day. I could charge all my things, power bank, phone, GoPro, and camera battery. I just ordered a hamburger. This was called a work burger. In Australia, they put pineapple and beetroot on the burger. Now, I'm a bit used to it. In the middle of nowhere, this huge burger was 12 Australian dollar, which is 9 American dollar. This was a cheap deal in Australia. Bless this cafe. And huge thanks to my YouTube supporter. Thanks to you, I can have this luxury burger. After eating, I checked the camping site. Due to the holiday, every site was full around this lake. I wanted to stay at a quiet place, so I decided to try a camping site which was only accessible by walking or boat. I was not sure why the car couldn't be accessed. I hope it was not too steep or narrow to cycle. By the way, there was no one booking, so I must be alone there. Before leaving, I bought the water, which cost $5. They did have tap water and said it is filtered so that I can drink. But as you can see, the water color was not transparent. I tried a bit and it looked fine, but just for extra safety, I will use it for cooking only. Had lunch, charged my electric things, and got water. All ready. Time to check the camping site. On the map, I checked the camping site. It was not far from main road, and here was the entrance. Actually, the track looks quite wide. And at the corner, I could push my bicycle. Surprisingly, the track was good to cycle. I hope there would be no problem cycling to the side. There was a little part covered by sand that I had to push a bit. Surprisingly, the track was wide and good all the way. Maybe the national park decided to make some camping site to block cars so that walkers can enjoy it quietly. But then why did they allow the boat? Maybe because there was no way to block the boat. Just arrived at the camping site. This site looked more privacy compared to the caravan park. There was one boat playing a radio with a big speaker. No matter where you go in this world, there are people always playing TV, radio, music with the speakers these days. There was another family with the 2 kids arriving canoeing. They told me they are not sure where to sleep, so they didn't book. They might know many things around this area. So this was not an empty site. Anyway, this must be better than any other camping site which was nearly full with camping cars. The toilet was behind the site. It was a long drop toilet, but it didn't have a bad smell. Either thanks to science, they made our life so amazing that we can enjoy long drop toilet these days. There were 2 iguanas or 3 iguanas living at the site. They looked scary, but they didn't bother people unless people were trying to attack them. I decided to set up a tent at the corner, but I just got the idea. I'll just surf at the lake. I saw people swimming here, so this water must be safe, although it looks a bit stinky, sure, due to lake water meeting sea water. I was not a good swimmer, so this surfboard was good for my safety. Also, I didn't want to waste my surfboard. I wanted to use it everywhere. Water was so shallow that I had to walk a bit. I was not sure how far I had to go until water covered my head. I practiced duck diving as well for fun. Water looked brown, but it was clean with a nice temperature. After cooling down with the surfing, I started setting my tent. The morning came and I was surprised that people from the boat slept here because I didn't hear any sound at all from them after sun went down yesterday. Also, I didn't know people could sleep on the boats as well. I wanted to stay here another night, but the problem was lack of water. The water at the cafe was so expensive that I didn't want to go back and forth. In the early morning, I saw beautiful birds smashing the bug. Wildlife is brutal. Imagine some big animals come to you, pierce, smash, eat you while you are alive. Glad I was born as a human in 21st century, so I can avoid the big animals eating me alive. Anyway, it was a beautiful morning and really beautiful thing happened. The family that came by canoe gave me lots of water, telling me they are finishing their trip and that they would go back home. Now I can stay here until night without worry. Everyone left and I was the only one here. Happiest moment. Although I travel alone, it was difficult to have my own time alone due to traffic, the city, and so on. I did love this being alone safely in the nature so much. I decided to check how much water and food was left. Food and water were the most important at the wild camping. First one was for the breakfast the next day. The middle was for this afternoon lunch. The last was for the dinner. This was enough to stay another night. I can drink coffee thanks to that family giving me water. I need to save the phone battery, which was a really good excuse not to use it. I felt there was plenty of time, so I just started collecting all the leftover wood from the every site for tonight. And then watching neighbor Guana. Another serving time. It's just time to have lunch and relax. There are a few visitors from canoe and boat that I could get some knowledge about this area after talking to them. Also, two black swans visited me. There are fish and crab in the water. The snack time. I didn't like the peanut butter when I was in Korea. But these days I love it so much because it can give very high calories that it helps not to starve. A park ranger came in the afternoon, but didn't ask why I didn't book for tonight yet. They just cleaned around and left. Later in the afternoon, no such a visitor came that I felt owned the whole island. It was just so much fun, like staying at the island without any other humans. I don't like to be alone in a busy city, but I love being alone in the quiet nature. In the late afternoon, I decided to book another night. The sun would go down, so I started to collect my belongings. Also, I took the water from the lake to take shower. I can take shower under my tent if I put the inner tent at the side. Tonight, another pasta with vegetables and tuna. The sunset was just so beautiful. I was totally alone, and I loved it so much. I was not scared because I already stayed last night here, so I knew what it would be like. This was one of the most precious times of my trip. Being alone in the nature safely, without worry, was just priceless. The morning came, I enjoyed the coffee at this beautiful place alone. This horsefly was bothering me so much for a week. It hurt so much. Look at the big stinger. Also, they made a huge noise, so it scared me a lot. Park ranger came early in the morning and cleaned the toilet and left. It was time to pack and leave this beautiful place. Just before leaving, another surfing session. Taking everything for leaving. This garbage was for the last 3 days. It was always so satisfying when I threw the garbage away once I arrived at civilization. Yeah. My kickstand just broke after 2 years. Still, Greenfield kickstand is the best in the world for heavy touring bicycles. I will buy the same one again. I would remember this place as one of the best spots in Australia after our back.